Welcome to My Life in Israel podcast, where I speak the truth with people about finding a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict while combating anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, and anti-Zionist propaganda, and rant about Israeli politics and life in Israel. I also throw in some Judaism to spice things up. Hi, Connie.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I have to cook, so I have not much time, but
Okay.
you're doing good in Israel.
I'm doing okay.
Okay, that's good.
Where are you?
I'm from the Netherlands, so we're not very popular in Israel right now, but
No, that's okay. So
But-
what do you have to, do you want to say anything?
no, I think your Israelis are good people, so that's why I think the Israelis have to defend themselves.
Okay,
So
great.
more about it, and I see the Free Palestine people, and that is not good because they are very young people and they don't know what they are talking about. So the education is very poor.
Right. I'm curious. My question is, do you believe that this is a religious war about Jerusalem?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean 7 October. It's not normal if that becomes the normal. How you say it? If people find this normal to do so, then the world is sick.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. And I mean, Israel is going to be peaceful at the Palestine. So, and they are not. Hamas is a terroristic organization. So that's what I believe.
Okay. So what do you think should happen? Like, how do you think, how do we solve this problem?
Yeah, that's difficult because the Hamas is very they are using people who are maybe innocent, but you don't know. It's so difficult. They use hospitals, innocent peoples as shields. So that's difficult to say what you can do. Yeah, you can kill them all, but then you kill also innocent people, and that's very difficult. But
Okay. I want to remind you, we have to use TikTok friendly language on here.
Yeah.
So don't say KILL, say unalive.
Yeah. Okay.
And H group instead of Hamas.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. I have to go because I have to make food.
Okay.
Next time
Well,
I'm going to be there.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. And have a good time there in Israel and defend yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you so much, Linus of Judea, for following and liking the live. Do you want to come up and talk, Linus of Judea?
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Ellen, אין שום בעיה. Sorry, my children are here too. Ellen, די, אתה מסתדר, נכון? Sorry. רגע, okay, sorry, just a minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So you're here in Israel?
Yeah, Haifa.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm in Jerusalem.
Cool.
Yeah. So do you have anything that you want to say or ask?
A bunch of stuff. First of all, it's probably not just me who's like being ambushed by pro-Pallies all the time here on TikTok. But so I'm in trying to host a live, but I'm still trying to get the kinks of it.
Me too. This is like one of my first lives with guests.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe you can help because I was today finally able to go live because I had to do something I didn't want to do, which is to buy followers.
Wow.
And yeah, and now I was able to go live, but I can't actually have guests. So
Oh yeah, they do that. You have to go live like 3 times before you can have guests.
oh really?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
this is only like my second live that I can have guests.
Also, I don't have the ability to do this on my phone, just on the computer. Is that what's supposed to be, or for some?
Well, I think once you go live for 30 minutes, then you get access to going on the computer and accessing the live on the computer. So you must have first went live on your phone.
No, I don't have the possibility to do live on my phone, but I did do it on my computer just for a few minutes to check if it worked. And it worked. I just couldn't have any guests.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. And I was thinking, people keep telling me it's because you're in Israel and they always do stuff like that. And I was warned that, I mean, by friends here, that if I go live, there's pro-palis that have nothing better to do but just ambush people like me and mass report them regardless, just because we're Israelis or pro-Israelis, and they'll just get banned. Doesn't matter if I say or do anything.
Well, I want to invite pro-palis on and have a civil discussion. And I said right in my thing, the rules for the live are no reporting. I don't want anybody reporting in this live, whether you're on pro-pali side or pro-Israel side.
Once they do that, then, I mean, my other account, I spent a whole year trying to build up followers without paying for it. And I did actually manage to get over 1,000 followers. But then it was, for no reason, absolutely no reason, was suspended. So I could go on live panels like now, but I couldn't host my own lives. So I opened a new account and I paid for followers. I'm just trying to figure it out because, I mean, if I'm going to eventually be able to host a panel like you are, I'm going to get probably mass reported at some point. And if I bring up people who are pro-palis and, or, they come up and stumble on my live and decide to destroy my account because I'm on TikTok and I'm an Israeli. So
okay, so that's what I hear it happening to other people, but I've been on pro-pali lives, and I've been on a lot of pro-pali lives where they just block me. And but
if they block you, it's fine. I mean, you don't have to be their friend. But the problem is, these guys are sometimes, I don't know if to say vindictive, childish, or just jerks, or all of the above. Because I didn't hurt anybody and I didn't do anything. And sometimes I even just delete my videos because I don't want them to, start fighting with anyone.
Well, I agree, but like, I'm trying to have a civil discussion. I want to hear people from both sides. There are a lot of people outside Israel that are pro-pali that are just really not worth talking to. Like, it's not going to end up in a civil discussion because then they want to just yell at you.
Yeah, actually, I haven't met much who were trying to actually have a discussion. But I don't know, for some reason I have the urge to talk to people and try to see if I can maybe shed some light on a few things, because people said their opinion in Israel and, they don't even know how we look like. They don't even know this country. They don't know where we are on the map. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And I really hope that I'll get to be able to host my own live.
Well, you should be able to. Like I said, I was in literally the exact same thing happened to my account. I have been over 1,000 followers for like over a year, and I haven't been able to go live until just like a month ago. And I was so frustrated that I made a video about it. And I don't know, at some point, I don't know if TikTok saw my video and did something, or somebody had mentioned like changing your VPN to America or something. And then all of a sudden I was able to go live.
Yeah,
so
you have to have a VPN, and that costs money, doesn't it?
No, there's plenty of
my followers does too.
Well, actually, I did the same thing too, because a year ago when I couldn't go live, I did start a different account and I bought followers on that account, but I still couldn't go live on that account.
Well, I guess last week I was on the main account and I was on a live panel, and there were a lot of pro-Israelis and one pro-Pali on that panel. We were talking and we were actually having a decent discussion. It started heating up. I didn't say any bad words to whatever was talking, and I tried very hard not to insult him, but I told him what I think about what they're trying to do to us and how futile it is, and there's no, it doesn't help anybody, etc., etc. The usual things that Israelis say. I mean, those who are not insane and, So some reason I got banned from going on panels on that account until tomorrow. No, wait, maybe today, actually. I didn't try to use that account again. Maybe I'll die. Sorry, it's my kid.
Why?
I don't know if you have kids, but it's impossible to go live on TikTok when you have them.
No, I don't have any kids. I'm old, so if I had any, they would be all grown up.
Yeah, I'm old too. I mean, but forget it. Anyway, it's only what?
So I want to ask you, do you know what it says up here? I'm trying to start a discussion about what this.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, that's something actually very important, because I saw this. I was on a live panel with Chip Barnes. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so I was on a live panel with him, and it was me and a bunch of pro-Israelis and a bunch of pro-Palis. And the guy said, I want to know if you think that the origin of the conflict is religious, or is it about injustice and, people saying that their rights have been violated in the West Bank and all that crap. And there was somebody that from Ramallah was, talking about all of that. And I'm like, I explained, look, I have a very simple answer to that. And a Palestinian was asked, what happens if all of the Jews in Israel convert to Islam? Would you still have a problem with them? And the Arab says, no, they'll be Muslim. We have no problem with Muslims. Yofi, kol hakavod. So there were other two Israelis on the panel, and they said also they think it's a religious war, because when people do what they do, they say Allahu Akbar and whatever. And you don't actually see a lot of theists who are, not in some way connected to religion, like atheist theists. I haven't seen any of them. So Chip Barnes said, okay, you Israelis, pro-Israelis, sorry, you say that this is a religious conflict, but the pro-Palis, what they were saying is that it's because of inequality and they don't get their rights and in the West Bank and blah, blah, blah. So it's like we are biased because we think the whole world is anti-Semitic. So we don't actually see that we're violating their rights and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you this. If you had a bunch of theists walking around, you would become paranoid too. So if they all come from this particular place, you're going to put checkpoints there, wouldn't you? You're going to go after these people, try to find them, arrest them, wouldn't you? I mean, what do you expect us to do? Just wait for another T attack? Anyway, at some point, I just got sick of Chip Barnes and I just went off of the live panel. But unlike the other people who were there, I was trying to be very polite and I listened to them. And actually, he was pretty nice to me about it. But the other Israelis, they were very much infuriated by all the stuff the pro-Palis were saying. So they got a little emotional and they started talking over each other, which is stuff that Americans hate, and especially Chip Barnes. So at some point, I'm like, okay, this is too toxic for me.
Yeah, there is. I really, I can understand the emotion. I was like that at first, but now I'm just like, no, nothing offends me now. Like I don't really care. You can say whatever you want to say, and I know that a lot of what they're saying is just a flat out lie, and I just don't let it get to me.
Yeah, but you're still trying to talk to people, and I don't know if educate them is the right word, but explain to them. And that was the problem, that we didn't try to do that enough before, and we are trying now.
I really, it's not about educating, because we've been doing this for years and it doesn't seem to make any difference. All the facts and all the proof, all the videos, everything that we show to prove them that, what we're doing is just, and we're in self-defense, and, we're not the bad guys. It doesn't seem to matter. And I really think that there's something to that I think we as a nation have to look at that within ourselves and ask ourselves, and look at this, if this is a religious war, then it can only be solved religiously, I believe.
In what sense? I mean, to make people convert, or?
Well, to everybody says that October 7th, changed everything. A lot of people on the left turned more to the right, and a lot of people got more in touch with their Judaism. I think that's what we need more of, because that's what will keep us united. All the people that are protesting and are on the left and are trying to do basically the same thing as the T people are doing, are trying to break us apart and destroy us.
People are protesting where? Outside the country?
No, here in the country.
I mean, the people who protest against the government?
Yes, before October 7th, the protests about the judicial reform. I mean, we already know that A Troop said that was one of the reasons why they felt comfortable enough to go ahead and do it, is because they felt like we were divided. And now it's kind of back to the same thing. We're getting more divided.
Well, obviously, I mean, war tends to do that to people, especially if there's hostages. But the thing about what we need to remember is that we are not like the Muslim world, where there is I don't think there is a democracy in the Muslim world, but we have it here. And it's very important that we express ourselves and act through this democracy. And I don't see any other way except elections and this, the stuff that doesn't work, really doesn't actually make a change. But that's the only good way to do this. I mean, because what's the other solution? Forcing people? Like if you're in a Muslim country like Iran, you have no right to, express yourself against the government. So that's why everything is quiet there, and that's why they've been in power for so long. But
Well, I agree to a certain extent, but that we're still gonna, even if we get rid of H group, we get rid of Hezbollah, we get rid of the Houthis, we get rid of Iran, there's always going to be something coming up. We have now Syria, this group in Syria. They're just as bad as H group and everybody else. They want to come for Jerusalem also.
yeah, and there'll always be, I mean, they just change names, but that's true. But the thing is that we need to remember to stay united, but also not erase each other's identities and opinions. And I will fight for anybody else's right to talk smack about me, because I want to be able to speak freely too. What I don't like is how sometimes, like in TikTok, where they keep trying to shut me up, mute me, ban me, and shit like that. Now, you have to wonder why TikTok does that stuff. And I'm not talking about private people who do that. I'm talking about the organization TikTok, but with all of their ridiculous crap that they're pulling. Why? Because they don't come from a democratic country. They come from China. They're being run by people who are not from democracies, because that's what they believe in. They believe in control. We need to show them that we don't believe in that we believe in people's right to talk, even if it annoys other people, as long as we keep it civilized. And, protests happened before the year 2000 all the time. I mean, I was still in junior high and everything when Rabin was murdered. But there was protests there all the time, before and after. It's not something that's bad, but you need to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. And when people are inciting, inside and outside the government, inside and outside the parliament, Knesset, I mean, the people who are trying to use that protest to wreak havoc, that's the people that we need to handle, to get rid of, or to do something about it.
Okay, so there's protests are fine in theory, I feel, but there's a limit. And like in America, I'm American, so I hear about all these protests on the university campuses for pro-Palestine or whatever, and they seem to be allowed to do that because of free speech. And yet we still have the same people here in Israel on university campuses at Tel Aviv University protesting. Israelis here in Israel protesting that this is a G-side. And
I know, I've seen that here in Haifa too, and it makes me annoyed and angry that they have the audacity to say stuff like this. But, and I don't like it any more than you do. But on the other hand, we need to remember that we're not what they're saying that we are. We're not a state that presses anyone. And unfortunately, that entails having toxic people like that too. Obviously, there are, I don't know if you study here in Israel or if you studied before, but I actually there was a very short period of time when I took some law school classes, and I read about Kach party that was banned, like became illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, there was another, I don't remember which Arab party it was, that also banned as illegal because they were against the existence of the state of Israel. So, I mean, Kach was banned for the fact that they were using terror as a means of achieving their goals. So they could not be a political party. And the other party was banned because they were against the existence of the state. We need to be able to allow the democracy defend itself. The problem is, that's why democracy is so crappy, because it's the lesser evil. It's just maybe the thing that could help is if we make sure that people who are extreme and with very clear agendas to want to, like those people, Kach, or that Arab party, I forgot its name, that was banned, people like that should not be in the parliament. People like that should not be given power if they're trying to use that power to destroy the democracy.
Well, there's parties, the Arab parties in the government, parliament, don't accept the existence of the Jewish state. Yeah.
Well, if they don't, then why are they in the parliament? I mean, they are still trying to work within the law. there was this guy, Azmi Bshara, who was part of the parliament, and he was accused of assisting an enemy country, so he escaped the country. Now he's not part of the parliament. That's stuff that needs to be done. People who are trying to destroy the country from within, yeah, they need to be held accountable, and they need to, face the consequences of their actions. But we have to let people talk, because otherwise we become just like Iran, that, analyze people by saying, who say the wrong word. I actually spoke with the people who used to live in Iran, Iranians who escaped Iran. They said that if you write one dot in a social network there, the government sees it, and they could just knock on your door just a little bit after and arrest you. And we should try very hard not to get to that. But yeah, it's a religious war. Religious tends to get people really excited, or I don't know what. It's easy to get people worked up because of religion, because people believe in this with every fiber of their being. So maybe, I keep thinking that maybe the solution would be to become a bit more moderate, to become a little less religious, like more, try to learn about the people that hate us. For example, I was trying to read the Quran just to see what all the fuss is about. And then I can judge for myself what is Islam. And if I say something, I have something to back it up. Like, people are like, oh, you're Islamophobic. No, I read in the Quran that this, and that. I don't like that. It's not Islamophobic.
Exactly. No, I also just read the Quran recently too. So yeah.
A lot of Israelis started doing this after October 7th. And also what you said about, being connected to our Judaism, Jewish heritage, however, well, that's absolutely true, 100%. I started wearing the Star of David after everything that happened. And I never did that before. And I'm much more proud of, being an Israeli, being Jewish. But I don't see how that's going to be able to help us. I mean, it's important, very, very important.
Okay, so I'm a religious Jew. I'm an observant Jew. So what comes to mind always is I think of Psalm 81, Tehillim 81, which talks about, just says basically, the people aren't listening to my voice, God's voice. They're doing what they want, doing their own thing. And if they come back to me, I will take care of your enemies. Like, your enemies will be destroyed at once. Like, all you have to do is listen to my voice, come back to me, and I will take care of your enemies.
What does it mean, listen to his voice?
To follow the commandments.
Exactly. But, a lot of people are doing that anyway. They just don't go and, according to what the rabbinate says or anything.
That's
like
fine. Actually, I'm fine
for
with
example,
that.
My father started praying, and he became very religious, but he's anti-rabbinate. He says that they're the ones who pretty much spoiled the whole experience of being Jewish. They're controlling people instead of being all about the religion and the Bible, and that we should follow the Torah and not the rest of the stuff like the Talmud and everything. That's his argument.
I agree. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I really think that there's something to that, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to explain why Israel now currently has been able to...
Just a moment. Just a moment.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I need to take care of a few things, so I need to go off.
Okay.
All right, but it's been nice talking to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
Thanks for listening to My Life in Israel podcast. Follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for non-podcast videos. If you enjoyed the podcast, like, share, comment, and follow me on Spotify and other podcast apps so you never miss another episode. Support my work and support Israel by making a one-time or monthly donation, or become a subscriber to get access to exclusive content. The links are in my profile and description. And stay tuned, because I have a lot more to say. Am Israel High.